And elsewhere, the European markets moved slightly lower intraday as investors concentrate on new earnings reports and geopolitical tensions. But of course, the main focus today, though, is on corporate earnings, with a number of banks reporting their latest figures. Now, Channels TV, DWTV correspondent Daniel Cook joins me now for more updates from the European markets. So, Daniel, German company Bayer came out with fresh numbers today, but of course, not without a big showdown at their shareholder meeting because of taking over the U.S. company Monsanto. Could you tell us more about this?
Well, I guess the Bayer CFO is not going to be that happy today because he was actually able to provide very strong numbers today to shareholders with a growth of 30% already in the first quarter of 2017. And they already said they're even going to expect higher earnings throughout the year. Why are shareholders concerned? It's because they're actually interested, well, not just interested, they have said that they want to buy Monsanto, this huge agrochemical company from the United States, for a gigantic amount of money, 66 billion euros. That's the biggest deal that ever a German company made when they wanted to buy a foreign company. And investors and shareholders are worried that this huge amount of money might be a little bit too risky for the company. On the other hand, Monsanto is a company with a very, very bad image. They are always in the talk of doing business that is actually harming local farmers in developing countries. So investors are also worried that this image could a little bit destroy the image of Bayer.
But we've also seen Google with promising numbers this week. Well, why are they successful compared to companies like Twitter, for instance?
Well, I don't know about your life, but I just tell you a little bit about my life. When I come into work in the morning, I use Google Maps to look how traffic is doing. Then I'm coming here to the stock exchange. I look on YouTube what other maybe competitive TV stations have been reporting. I also use, Google because YouTube belongs to Google. Then I Google content besides, of course, using the wire. So, and that's kind of the secret, of course, that Google had for so many years already, that they have implemented products that we use pretty much all day. Twitter, on the other hand, for example, they provided also new numbers this year, indicating that they had a growth of users, but still they're having financial problems because they are not that attractive for advertisers. Because how are all those companies making money? With advertising. And a company like Google that is so implemented in our daily life has just so much better chances to get advertisers interested in their products.
So finally, Daniel, RBS and Barclays are also out with new numbers. So can you give us the latest?
Yeah, both banks, RBS and Barclays, came out with very strong numbers for the first quarter of the year, very promising. Let me tell you, for example, RBS, they reached 308 million euros plus for the first time, actually, since 1.5 years. The bank had been struggling a lot during the financial crisis. They even had to pay penalty fees to the European Union for not doing correct business during the financial crisis. Also, Barclays came up with a higher profit of 2 billion euros. They actually doubled their numbers that investors and traders were expecting. And their biggest profit they're actually gaining with credit cards, with the credit card business. On the other hand, they also said that they were not doing so well when it came to trading with bonds. That's the same problem that also Deutsche Bank is facing here in Germany. They're having the same problem, and they are not as strong as, for example, their competitors in the United States. That's it from the business desk here in Frankfurt. Happy weekend. Back to you in Lagos.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Of course, do have yourself as well a great weekend ahead. Daniel Coop is DWTV, Channels TV financial correspondent from Frankfurt. Well, we're staying with the markets, but this time in Asia, where it was weak on Friday, as comments from President Donald Trump on an existing free trade pact with Seoul to payment for a sophisticated anti-missile system caught investors by surprise. South Korea's Kospi index, initially in the green, dipped on news that Trump was threatening to terminate a trade agreement with the country. The Kospi closed 0.18% down at 2,205.44. And over in Japan, the Nikkei 225 shed 0.29%. The close at 19,196.74. Australia's benchmark ASX 200 index closed 0.04% higher at 5,924.1. Markets in Greater China were mixed as the Shanghai Composite was up 0.08% and the Shenzhen Composite gained 0.36%. The Hang Seng Index was 0.45% lower. Now to company earnings, Nigeria's largest financial services group, FBN Holdings, has reported a 13.7% increase in total assets to 4.7 trillion naira for the year ended 2016. The holding company for Nigeria's oldest lender, First Bank, on Thursday reports total deposit growth of 4.5% at 3.1 trillion naira, while net loans and advances grows 14.7% in the period under review. Net profit was up at 17.1 billion naira, a 10.3% growth over 2015 financial year. FBN Holdings, the key financial ratios show post-tax return on average equity of 3%, net interest margin was better at 8.8%, and capital adequacy ratio of 18.7% based on Basel II parameters. On the other hand, the first quarter earnings result posted by Diamond Bank shows that both the profit before tax and profit after tax were down year-on-year. Profit before tax fell by 17%, while profit after tax was down 3% because other comprehensive income of 827 million naira supported the results. The bank recorded a 23% decline in non-interest income and a 20% increase in loan loss provisions. In the meantime, Oando also released its first quarter results, declaring a profit of 1.71 billion naira, and that's a 58.3% drop from the 4.1 billion naira recorded in the comparable period of 2016. The company's revenue, however, rose by 575.2% at 138.2 billion naira. And of course, a couple of other earnings results trickled into the markets today, and some of them include Zenith Bank's Q1 2017 results, which showed a strong double-digit growth of 38% in profit before tax to 44 billion naira and profit after tax at 46% to 39 billion naira. Well, this morning, Mobil Oil Nigeria also reported Q1 2017 results, which showed that while sales grew 11% to 25.2 billion naira, PBT and PAT both declined. Seplat Petroleum Development Company also reported its Q1 2017 results, showing a 43% decline in sales to $47 million. Away from company earnings, Zimbabwe's Finance Minister Patrick Chinmasa says the country has met all conditions to clear arrears to the World Bank and the African Development Bank, paving the way for possible future funding from the International Monetary Fund. The Southern African nation in October last year cleared its 15-year-old financial arrears with the IMF in a major step towards its first loan program with the fund since 1999. Mr. Chinmasa said in a statement that facilities negotiated by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe to repay the $1.75 billion arrears had been scrutinized by the World Bank and AFDB, who were satisfied. Well, Business Incorporated takes a moment now, and we'll be back. Please stay with us.